Jey Uso walks out on Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman returns. The WWE's rumored plans for Survivor Series WarGames. Unfortunate news as Asuka's home is targeted by thieves amid her injury hiatus. An unfortunate update on The Miz. After being kidnapped by Wyatt Sicks, will CM Punk and Drew McIntyre return to WWE in November. Braun Strowman shares a heartbreaking post. Pierce mocks Randy Orton after he suffered a career-threatening injury. Montez Ford finally addresses Bobby Lashleys WWE exit in a rant. Rikishi is unhappy with the WWE creative. Let's dive right in. The WWE's rumored plans for Survivor Series WarGames WWE Survivor Series. WarGames 2024 is just around the corner, and the Stamford-based company has announced just one match for the show so far, that is Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and Sami Zayn versus Solo Sikoa's Bloodline. The premium live event will broadcast live from the Rogers Arena in Vancouver, Canada on November 30th. Survivor Series. WarGames 2024 could be a very eventful night. The creative team could be planning some big things for the Canadian spectacle, which could set the tone for the final month of the year. On that note, here are 4 huge things that the Stamford-based company could be planning for the upcoming PLE. Number 1, Seth Rollins could face Bronson Reed in a last man standing match. Seth Rollins prevailed over Bronson Reed after a hard-fought battle at the Crown Jewel 2024 Premium Live event. However, the latter attacked the former on this week's episode of Raw. Reed made his presence felt during the Fatal 4-Way match, which was being held to determine Gunther's next challenger to cost the Visionary a potential win. Given how things unfolded, Rollins could face the Australian star in a rematch at Survivor Series WarGames 2024. However, the creative team could spice things up by booking the duo in a last man standing match, which would be the perfect match type to end this rivalry. Number 2, Goldberg could cost Gunther his title. Damian Priest won the Fatal 4-Way match on Raw to become the number 1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. The Archer of Infamy will likely face Gunther at Survivor Series WarGames 2024. However, the high-profile match may see the ring general drop his gold due to Goldberg's interference. The 57-year-old veteran got involved in a confrontation with the Imperium leader at Bad Blood 2024 and could return at Survivor Series WarGames 2024 to cost the latter a potential win. This potential angle would then lay down the breadcrumbs for Goldberg's rumored match against Gunther. Number 3, Roman Reigns could have Cody Rhodes join him. As mentioned earlier, the original Bloodline will lock horns with Solo Sikoa's Bloodline at Survivor Series WarGames 2024. However, both teams have yet to add the 5th member to their ranks. That may change shortly as Roman Reigns could have former AEW star Cody Rhodes join him against the heel stable in the 2024 Men's WarGames match. The American Nightmare could be revealed as the final member of the original Bloodline, much to the delight of fans. Number 4, Roman Reigns could be forced to replace Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn reunited with Roman Reigns on the latest episode of SmackDown. While it seemed as if the honorary Uso was going to join forces with Solo Sikoa, that was not the case, as the former hit the self-proclaimed tribal chief with a brutal hell of a kick to join forces with Reigns. However, this may not sit down well with the Bloodline. The heel stable could target Zayn, taking him out just before the match to weaken the original tribal chief's side. This may force Roman to replace an injured Sami with a monster. The superstar in question is Zilla Fatu, who is the son of late legend Umaga. He has been rumored to debut shortly in the Stamford-based promotion, and he could be Sami Zayn's replacement if the new Bloodline injures the 40-year-old star. Next up with unfortunate news as Asuka's home is targeted by thieves amid her injury hiatus. Asuka hasn't been seen in a WWE ring since Backlash in May, where she suffered a knee injury. The former WWE Women's Champion has since undergone surgery and has been rehabbing ahead of a return. Asuka has remained active on social media over the past few months and recently updated a post where she claimed that her packages had been stolen from her doorstep by children. Asuka noted that the theft was caught on the security camera, and it was 3 children who took her parcels that were delivered by Amazon, but it's unclear if she will be able to get them back. Package theft is an ongoing issue all over the world, which has led to a large number of people installing cameras to work as a deterrent to potential thieves. It seems that this wasn't enough for Asuka, who is clearly upset that it was children who opted to steal her parcels. Asuka is expected to make her WWE return in the coming weeks, after spending more than 6 months on the sidelines since her injury. After Sky won the opportunity to face Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship on Raw, it seems that she will need all of the backup that she can get. Dakota Kai and Asuka are currently sidelined from Damage Control, which has left Kairi Sane and Sky to push forward on Raw as a duo over the summer. A reunion of the group could be enough to help Sky to dethrone Liv and overcome the numbers game to have a fair shot at the title. Speaking of unfortunate news, there's also been an unfortunate update on The Miz after being kidnapped by Wyatt Sicks. The Miz was abducted by the Wyatt Sicks a few weeks ago on WWE Raw, and it seems that he may not be released from their grasp anytime soon. The company will be touring as part of the holiday season, and interestingly, The Miz is one of the stars who has been replaced in the advertisement for the same. WWE released the poster for the tour at the beginning of November, and it featured Rhea Ripley, Gunther, Liv Morgan, The Miz, R-Truth, Dominic Mysterio, Drew McIntyre, and Jey Uso. The company has since been forced to update the poster, and it now features Seth Rollins in place of The Miz. The poster also had CM Punk and Rey Mysterio featured in place of Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. Will CM Punk and Drew McIntyre return to WWE in November? CM Punk and Drew McIntyre have been on hiatus from WWE since their brutal Hell in a Cell match at the Bad Blood Premium Live event. The two men skipped the trip to Saudi Arabia, and recent speculation suggests that Punk could be back as soon as this week on Raw. But now that the two men have been featured on the poster for the upcoming show, it's likely that they will be back on the road with the company soon. With a major draft expected to take place in the coming weeks to prepare for Raw's huge move to Netflix, it will be interesting to see if the two men will remain on the same brand. It would make sense to split them across SmackDown and Raw so that the duo can avoid each other. Punk is someone that Netflix will have requested, but they have also pushed for Roman Reigns on Raw, which is seemingly unlikely, with the current Bloodline saga still pushing through. Braun Strowman shares a heartbreaking post. Braun Strowman was injured during his main event match with Bronson Reed on WWE Raw back in September. The star has remained on the sidelines since. The monster of all monsters suffered a torn groin during the bout and has been rehabbing the injury in the weeks that followed, with several rumors suggesting that he could now be ready to return. Strowman decided to head out last night to EDC in Orlando and shared a number of stories with fans. Strowman shared one heartwarming update when he saw the lights out in the crowd and noted that they reminded him of Bray Wyatt. Strowman noted that the Fireflies were out in a heartbreaking update where he noted that he missed Wyndham. Strowman and Wyatt worked together in the Wyatt family for several years before their split, but Braun hasn't returned as a member of Wyatt Sicks. Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss worked closely with Bray Wyatt for several years, but neither star has so far factored into plans for Wyatt Sicks. Alexa remains away from WWE on maternity leave currently, and it seems that there could be some plans for her when she returns. Strowman, on the other hand, appears to be in the midst of a push on his own as a monster. This doesn't mean that he can't work with Wyatt Sicks in the future, but at present it doesn't appear as though he is needed for the group. Strowman is a former Universal Champion, and it seems that he could be looking to pursue a World Championship again, but when Alexa Bliss returns to the company, it will be interesting to see how the duo interact if they are both members of the WWE Raw roster. Pierce mocks Randy Orton after he suffered a career-threatening injury. WWE Raw. General Manager Pierce recently took to social media to mock Randy Orton after he suffered a horrific injury on the latest edition of Friday Night SmackDown. The Viper was attacked by Kevin Owens on the Blue brand. Since Cody Rhodes agreed to team up with Roman Reigns at Bad Blood 2024, Kevin Owens has been at odds with the American Nightmare and Randy Orton, who took his former Legacy teammate's side. After Owens and Orton had a brawl at the Crown Jewel 2024 Premium Live event, things got worse between them on this week's SmackDown. During the show, KO brutally attacked the Viper, hitting him with a horrifying piledriver. WWE later revealed that the Apex Predator had suffered an injury following the scary move. Pierce has now taken to X to react to Randy Orton's injury. The WWE Raw general manager posted a photo of himself delivering a piledriver in a match, seemingly mocking the Legend Killer's injury. Pierce might have taken a shot at Randy Orton's injury with this post, as the latter had hit the Raw general manager with an RKO during his brawl with Kevin Owens at Crown Jewel 2024. During a recent edition of Sportskeeda Wrestling's Smack Talk, Bill Apter said that he was impressed with Triple H's booking of Randy Orton and Kevin Owens' segment on WWE SmackDown. Apter also mentioned that everyone's reaction made Orton's injury seem legit, even if it was part of a storyline. Triple H is an old-school guy in a new-school world. They did this so well when you looked and saw the worry on people's faces. Not just the fans, but Charles Robinson, the referee, and so many other ones there. There was no shtick. They didn't have Kevin Owens come out and attack him in the ambulance and all that. It was almost like, this guy is really hurt. Randy was out for such a long time, Joe, with his injuries. This could be is this the end of Randy Orton's career? Apter wondered. Montez Ford finally addresses Bobby Lashley's WWE exit in a rant. Montez Ford of the Street Profits has finally addressed the departure of Bobby Lashley in a fiery rant following WWE SmackDown. Lashley's contract expired in August, and he recently signed a contract to join All Elite Wrestling. The Almighty took the Street Profits under his wing, with Ford and Angelo Dawkins turning heels for the first time. They were called The Pride and even recruited B-Fab. They eventually became faces in January during their feud against Karrion Kross and the Final Testament. With Lashley's exit becoming official in August, Ford and Dawkins are back to square one. It led to Ford expressing his frustrations in a scathing rant on the latest edition of SmackDown Lowdown, wherein he referenced the former WWE champion. There's a lot of frustration between the Street Profits and B-Fab. Earlier this year, we joined forces with another member, and they Lashley decided to go and do their own plans. And so it left the Street Profits and B-Fab to kind of pick up the scraps and find ourselves all over again. All in the midst of that drought, losing ourselves because at once we knew who we were, then we lost who we were, and at the same time we still don't know who are. At the same time at this moment right now, Ford said. The Street Profits are set to challenge the Motor City Machine Guns for the WWE Tag Team Championship next week on SmackDown. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins are looking to win gold for the first time in about 3 years. In the same interview on SmackDown Lowdown, Montez Ford promised a big win for the Street Profits next week on the Blue brand. They will challenge the Motor City Machine Guns for the WWE Tag Team title. Ford called the upcoming bout championship or bust for him and Angelo Dawkins. Next week, it changes. We stamp ourselves once again. We put ourselves in every single conversation, every single one. That's on everything. That's on Mama. That's on the hood. That's on the world. On God, we taking home the gold. That's how confident we are right now. That's how serious we are right now. Next week, it's the WWE Tag Team Championship or bust. That's it. There's no other option. There's no plan B. Plan A. That's it, Ford said. Rikishi is unhappy with the WWE creative. The Bloodline story continues to grow, with some intriguing twists and turns weekly that left a plethora of fans amused. With the OG Bloodline reunited finally, it seems like a battle between the factions would be featured at Survivor Series WarGames. A massive 6-man tag team match involving both factions took place at WWE Crown Jewel when Roman Reigns teamed up with the Usos to take on Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga in a losing effort. While the loss for Reigns and Kausner was quite shocking, the premium live event opening up with a match involving the former undisputed WWE Universal Champion surprised fans. During a recent episode of the Off the Top podcast, WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi addressed the 6-man tag team match opening WWE Crown Jewel and stated that it should have been the main event of the show. However, considering the show was about the Crown Jewel Championship, Rikishi felt the Triple H-led creative seemingly made a good decision because none of the marquee matches could have followed a match involving the Bloodline. I mean, the Bloodline is a special attraction just in itself. What I don't get is that they open up the show, being way out there, their first time going at it together in one of the richest places in the world. I would probably, as always, keep it where it needs to be. That's the main event, but I get it. The booking is the booking. So, we got to give it some breathing room because really, how do you follow the Bloodline? You don't, Rikishi said. Paul Heyman returns. The OG Bloodline reunited at the end of WWE SmackDown after Sami Zayn saved Roman Reigns from Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. They get a new logo following the show with a new set of merchandise ahead of Survivor Series WarGames at the end of the month. Sikoa initially thought that Zayn would side with him for the 5-on-5 WarGames match at the Premium Live event in Vancouver, Canada. However, the former Intercontinental Champion helped Reigns fend off the Bloodline along with Jey and Jimmy Uso. WWE referred to the original group as the OG Bloodline, and the company has already launched a bunch of items featuring their logo. It was the same font and design as Roman Reigns' OTC logo. There's also the word Yeet on the back of the shirt and jacket. The original tribal chief acknowledged main event Jey Uso's accomplishments with a loud and clear Yeet, and Solo Sikoa found himself surrounded at Crown Jewel 2024 by a reunited original Bloodline. Put your ones to the sky and stand strong with the original collective by snagging this The Bloodline OG Bloodline t-shirt. The signature tribal graphics printed across the torso, along with Jey Uso's catchphrase on the back, demonstrate that the alliance between Roman Reigns, the Usos, and Sami Zayn has been recemented, the description read. Before SmackDown ended, all 4 members of the OG Bloodline pointed their fingers to the sky with the fans acknowledging the reunion. While fans celebrated the reunion of the OG Bloodline, there was still a missing member who has not appeared since the end of June. Paul Heyman has been absent on WWE television since Solo Sikoa, and his minions powerbombed him through the announce table. According to Fightful Select, Heyman was backstage during Friday's show in Buffalo, New York. But it's unclear when the wise man of the Bloodline will make his return on television. The 2 iterations of the Bloodline are expected to face each other at Survivor Series WarGames. However, there's no concrete announcement on whether it will be a 4-on-4 or 5-on-5 WarGames match. The Rock, Hikuleo, and Lance Anoa'i are options for both sides if the match remains 5-on-5. Jey Uso walks out on Roman Reigns. Jey Uso and the OG Bloodline have finally reunited to take on Solo Sikoa's faction, with Sami Zayn also now aligning with the original Bloodline. The Yeet Master and the original Tribal Chief exchanged heated words during the opening moments of the latest SmackDown episode. However, things ended with a nostalgic reunion, marking Sami's return to the ongoing saga. At WWE Survivor Series WarGames, a double-ring bout, popularly known as a WarGames match, between the OG Bloodline and the new Bloodline is expected to headline the event. Let's discuss 3 signs that Jey Uso might walk out on Roman Reigns at the upcoming premium live event. A major element with serious implications for the OG Bloodline is that Roman Reigns has yet to apologize to the Yeet Master. On this week's SmackDown, when Sami Zayn showed up for a family discussion, his one request to the original Tribal Chief was for Reigns to apologize to Jey Uso. However, instead of apologizing, Reigns mocked the Samoan twin, claiming he was wasting time with the honorary use on Raw. Even when Jey laid down the conditions for the OG Bloodline's reunion, Roman still didn't offer an apology. This refusal to apologize raises the likelihood that the former Intercontinental Champion could walk out on Roman Reigns at Survivor Series WarGames, as he could feel that he wasn't respected and things hadn't changed. When Roman Reigns refused to agree to Sami Zayn's terms, the OG Bloodline retreated backstage after the opening moments of the Friday night show. During their backstage conversation, the OTC attempted to talk down to the Raw star, once again trying to assert his superiority. This behavior evidently didn't sit well with the Yeet Master, leading him to walk out again, citing Reigns' poor treatment of Jey. This attempt to belittle Jey could be yet another indication that the 39-year-old star might walk out on Reigns at Survivor Series WarGames if similar behavior recurs during the event. With the progression of the storyline, one thing has become clear. Roman Reigns is primarily focused on reclaiming the Ula Fala. The original Tribal Chief has made multiple attempts to get the Ula Fala back around his neck, but has failed each time. This suggests that one of the key reasons for the OG Bloodline's reunion is Reigns' apparent greed for power, symbolized by the Ula Fala. His obsession with authority seems to outweigh his concern for family, potentially leading to his moral corruption once again. If Jey Uso senses this shift, it could prompt him to walk out on Roman Reigns at the Survivor Series WarGames PLE.